So hello everyone. This one is a consolidated video, all the four parts together. And right now I'm dry cleaning or mopping the terrace area. Just before mopping, a day before, I have washed it with very less water so that it dries very fast. Now this is a waterproof solution for terraces, and this one is from Asian Paints. I've taken a roller brush and I am applying the solution to this, and then I am using the sponge roller to apply it on the floor of the terrace. So you see, I have also used a hand roller brush. The reason is that if you see very carefully, the tiles of the terrace is embossed. It has embossed texture on the top. So while my long handle roller brush was not efficient enough, so we are doing it by hand, and here Annie is helping me to finish the last patch. And you see, this is how you apply throughout. Do not leave any corner, any area or anywhere. It's very important that the lines of the tiles also get this. So once you apply it, you will get a different sheen and the floor will start shining once it is dry. So you can leave it like a day or two. I have left it like 3 days, and it was raining also, so we got it tested that it is pretty much good to go after the rains also. If you just want to do a waterproofing, you can only go ahead with that. Now I'm using a combination of two colors. This is a peacock blue mixed with space gray. These are the colors which are available on right now. See, in the lockdown I bought it from Amazon. You can get it from any store nearby, paint store nearby. All you have to look for is paints for floor, concrete floor or tiles for exterior use. So you get them pretty much now. Um, Now see, I'm not blending it or mixing it in a bowl or something like that. I'm blending it in the tray and try to blend directly on the floor. So I have not blended both the colors in a container. What I mean is that I have put both the colors separately, and now I'm trying to blend it with the roller brush on the floor itself. That's why you are seeing two different shades at present. So this color is made by mixing peacock blue and space gray. Or you can go directly. They have beautiful collection of colors, like they have 6-7 major colors for exterior use, and then you can always blend them. So this is the first coat what I am doing right now. So after the big roller brush, I chose to do it with the smaller hand roller brush. The reason was like the embossed structure on the tiles, the paint was not penetrating enough through them. So I was not able to apply much pressure on the longer handle, but it was easier with the longer handle. See, if you have flat tiles, it will be much easier with a longer handle roller brush. Since it was embossed, it took me a little more effort, and yeah, so this is the first coat. I'm not doing it like very precisely. I'm just trying to do one layer, but I'm not leaving any space unpainted. And you can see, no, this is not this is not how I have done it. It's not that fast, but since the video is little we have what do you see, we have speed up the video a little bit because it was getting very long. So now see, time and again I'm choosing the roller. It's very easy to do with a bigger handle roller brush, but you can see the difference. The paint was not penetrating through the embossed and the lines of the tiles, so I have to choose. Now see, again I chose the small handle roller brush. Just blend it well and don't leave any part unpainted or any area unpainted, because when you do it with a roller brush, it does not blend later once it is dry. So whatever blending you have to do, you do it in one shot. So this paint I did it in one day, but I took intervals like half an hour break every time when I started. Once the paint was finished in this tray, I used to take a break and then come back and do it, because I couldn't leave it, like in a portions. I can't do it in portions, otherwise it won't blend. So it's important to fetch it in one shot. That means in a day. Now see, this is with one coat. The skirting I have left in the first time. The second time I'm sitting and doing it. Now see, this is at the night, pretty much. After around 7 it was, and it was getting late, so Annie came and gave me a hand so that I can finish it early. Now this is the second coat we are doing after the rain. Immediately after the rain, we let it dry by its own, and then we took a cotton cloth and mopped the floor, and then we splashed the paint. And now see, I have taken, now this time I have blended both the colors in the box, and the blended color I'm applying on the tiles and all the lines. I'm trying to cover all everywhere, so even the lines of the tiles which were left or couldn't be finished properly the first time. So initially I was also using a roller to blend it, and then Shobit came and he thought that he might be willing to do this. It interested him actually. So he asked me how to do it, and I just showed him once, and later he kind of blended all the paint. I kept applying the paint on the tiles and the lines of the tiles, and he blended it. So it was very easy. If two people can do it together, it becomes easier. That is true. And we kind of enjoyed it while doing it together, so it was fun. So this also, we haven't done it like in one stretch. We did it in parts. Like I kind of did the first half in one stretch, and then the later half in another stretch. Took almost a break of a couple of hours in between, and then came back and started doing it again. So this is the second layer. The second layer, we have almost covered the entire tile and the lines of the tile. So now we are going for the break. We both went, and after a while we came back. I'm mixing the paint here. That's why you can't see it, because the camera is on the stand. I've mixed the paint. Now I'm starting here in the third coat of the first stretch. What I'm doing is I'm only giving it finishing touches here and there. So first I will be finishing the second half, and then I'll go around and give finishing touches to the remaining tiles as well. You can clearly see here, and he has come up with the roller brush again so that he can blend it. Now see, this is what I'm doing. I'm applying on the tiles as well as on the lines. And it was really fun because the weather was very pleasant. You can see the air was blowing very nice, and because it just rained, so the clouds were there and there was no sun, so it helped a lot in finishing up the task. Okay, now we are almost there. We're almost done. There are only two rows of tiles left after where we are doing it now. 2 rows beyond that. Now this is how it looks on the second coat. You can see the skirting is also painted well. Now this is a stencil. So I have chosen a 14 pattern for the stencil. This is a 14 different patterns of mandala and motifs, different motifs. And the coffee is by the side, you can see that. And it was probably during 4:30 next day. We waited for the sun to go, I mean, so that I don't go and work in the heat. You can do the same. You can have a window of 2 to 3 hours, or maybe 2 to 3.5 hours to work every day during the sunset. So now here I have I'm using a stencil brush and kind of daubing, you know, and I'm repeating the patterns. So it always helps, you know, even if you choose to go with one pattern, please have multiple stencils of the same pattern if you are doing such a big space. Otherwise you will end up doing it the stenciling for like 4-5 days and you will be exhausted. It is a very exhausting thing to do because you know, my thumb part started paining after 2-3 rows, and I could only do like 3 to 4 rows in a stretch. So I have done it in 3 parts, the whole stencil, and a little bit of work is still pending. So you see I have chosen the alternate pattern for the white, and yeah, you can't, you actually, the thing was the tiles, again I'm telling you, because they were a little bit embossed, so I couldn't use a sponge roller or a dauber to do it. If your tiles are flat, you can definitely go ahead and use a dauber or a sponge small roller, and that will be easier, because poking or daubing with a stencil brush is much more difficult than using a dauber or a roller. But since it was an embossed you know, this thing tile, so I couldn't use dauber and the roller. I tried to do it. Do you see these 2 circles at the other end of the terrace, the other corner of the terrace? This I tried to, you know, just do it by rotating the stencil brush, and it got little bit smudged, so I decided not to go ahead. And another tip is that you keep your brush dry with the paint. Like, do not over dip it in the paint. Always see, I have 2 containers. If you can see, a pink one contains the white color, the same white floor paint, and the other one has a newspaper or a tissue paper on the top, so that I can daub. See, now what I'm doing, I'm dipping my stencil brush in the paint, and then I am daubing it on the paper, so so that I can, you know, the excess paint can be absorbed by the paper and the brush is little dry. So as dry your brush will be, the better the motifs and the pattern will come out. There are less chances of smudging the paint on the floor. One thing, I completely enjoyed it, there's no doubt about it, but it was exhausting and tiring at the same time. So that was the coffee which kept me going. So now here I'm taking a break. I'm coming back and doing it after some time. Now I'll finish this row and probably I'll take another break. So 4 rows I did in one stretch and took 2 breaks. Now this is C. After nearly it's on the end, I think the remaining of the 2 rows. And you can see the night lamps are on, so it's pretty much after 6:30 in the evening. Same day, took little breaks and kind of did it. So I'm asking him if I can go and start my work if he's ready with the stand and the video. So light was completely gone here, and if I would have switched on the light on the terrace, a lot of mosquitoes and insect would have come. So we are using the light of the phone itself, the flashlight, to complete and record both at the same time. So this is how it looked, and then it rained the next day. This is the last 2 rows I'm doing. This is after a day or two, because it was raining, so I couldn't take the chance, because the paint would be wet and it might get scratched when it is wet. So I let it dry completely, and then I came back and did the rest of the 2 rows. Same thing, chosen a stencil brush, and here I'm daubing, pretty much poking through the stencil. Now see, almost every time when I dip the stencil in the paint, I do daub it on the paper as well, so that the excess of the paint is absorbed by the paper, and the stencils comes out to, I mean, it doesn't smudge, and it comes out to be dry. So keep your stencil brush dry. It will be easier, it will be neater. It will be very neat, actually. That's the only tip. So you have to know here that the paint are actually waterproof, but there is no guarantee for the scratch proof, and there is nowhere mentioned that it is scratch proof. So what I will be doing here is, I will be giving one top coat with a varnish, so that it does not scratches much, or it does not spoil the floor much if we put chair, table, or anything on the top of it. Even if we it is easier for the use, let's just say. So uh, since you see on the complete floor, like, let me just put it this way, while stenciling I was sitting on the floor and I dragged literally myself to each inch of the floor, and I'm dragging both the boxes as well. So let's just say it proves that it is not that easy to, it doesn't come off that easily, like uh, it is scratch proof, but I cannot guarantee if you put a heavier object, and say suppose you're sitting on a chair, you drag it back, then the paint will come off or not, because I have not tested it yet. So I don't know. But then, because I'm also planning to use the same thing in my garage area and front porch area, so for that reason I will be putting one coat over here and see if it goes fine. Then only I will be proceeding with the same thing in the garage, because the car tires, you can't help it. Plus in the front um, that porch area, so front patio. So that is how it is. I'm testing it here. If this goes well, I will be doing it the same thing at both the places, and same color also. So see, my hand has started painting a lot by the finish or the end of the stenciling. So I'm using my other hand as well in between to give a little rest now. See, but then since it's not being so comfortable, I'm switching it time and again very quickly. Everybody likes it right now. I have shared it on my social media accounts, and everybody is just loving the color combination. But I do have certain things in my mind. If the time allows, I will be doing it, and if it doesn't allow, then I will proceed with this pattern only. the smaller balcony area where I'm sitting just besides that wall. I have to paint that as well with the same color, same thing, everything. But for that it is gonna take a little longer because there's some work to be done and I want the work to be finished so that it is untouched later. Like, not there are certain things kept in the balcony also because of the lockdown. The interior work was held, and a lot of things were kept in the balcony area. So I will wait the work to be complete, the work to get completed, and the things to move from that part so that I can finish the paint. And now see, I have switched the hand again. So I keep doing it because it actually started painting in that portion, the hold where you hold the pencil between the thumb and the your index finger. About the colors, you have to seek any color which is an outdoor for an outdoor use, as well as which goes on the concrete and can be laid on the tiles. So the box itself will say that it is for concrete floor or tile for external use. So you have to see that part. Pretty much about to finish. I totally loved it, the way it has come out. I did not imagine that this is the way it's gonna look. I did imagine that after completion of the stenciling, how it will look, but it is gonna look that beautiful. I did not imagine that. So, and plus patterns are all different, so it's giving a little more edge uh, to the work. You can closely see in this video how neatly all the patterns have come out. There are motifs, there are mandala, and then there are some rangolis sort of pattern. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now see, I'm literally dragging myself back without lifting my body. So it shows that it is waterproof and scratch proof. But I don't know, when you literally drag something with the sharp edges, how it's gonna end up. So for that reason, I'm gonna varnish on the top as well. So this is where it's about to complete. Last 2-3 blocks remaining. This is the toughest part of all. This is the toughest part. It's more time taking, and you have to be very, very patient. You don't have to lose your patience, because once you lose your patience and you start applying more color, the motifs will start to smudge. So have to just keep doing this very patiently. Keep the brush dry and just I have used masking tape to hold the stencil on the floor on two sides. If we are see, I have been doing it for such a long time, more than 12-13 years. The stencils have been using it, so I pretty much am good to go with even with one tape on one side. But if you are not comfortable and you think or you are starting it new, or you are start doing it for the first time, please tape it on the four sides and then do it. Because if the stencil moves, that too ends up in a very bad say motif, with a very bad motif and smudged picture at the background. So it's better to hold it from all the four sides. and there you go, probably the second last block, and then the where I'm sitting, I'm gonna probably stand up and do the last one. So this is the second last one. See, yeah, because I know pretty much I can't sit and do the corner ones. I'm very, very thankful and grateful for all the love that you have shared. And this video I have given a voiceover just on request, so that you guys have an idea that how you can proceed with a larger space like this. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed, and give a makeover, engage yourself. So I'm really sorry for
Take
the
care.
black screen
Bye-bye.
which is appearing right now. There's a glitch in while I was making this consolidating this video together, but it's gonna go just now, and you can see the whole floor. I played with different colors, and this was the idea from the beginning. So in the same way as you have done stenciling with white, you can just add on the colors you want, or you can even play with different colors of your choice. So in the daylight this looks like this, and a little little after sunset it's gonna look like this. So I hope you really enjoyed and like this, and yeah, now it's a final goodbye. Bye bye, take care.